you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And today I will be talking to you guys about Leap from Netflix. Now, Leap starts off with Orphan Felicity starting to escape the orphanage. Now, I know that this is not her first time because she has attempted to escape the orphanage many a times. And then Mr. Baldwin says, the guy who runs the orphanage, he says, "Where is Felicity?" He asks her, Mr. Baldwin asks her best friend Victor, "Where is Felicity?" And he says that he doesn't know. And then he sees her trying to escape while on the roof. Now, how she got up there, I have no idea. And why is there not a person watching while she climbed up the roof? I have no idea. So anyway, she is nearly halfway off the roof when Victor goes up there to the roof by using a ladder to get her. And then she trips and then she dangles from the roof. But don't worry, she's fine. Because she asks Victor to help her down. And then, when they're doing the dishes as punishment, Felicity tells Victor not to be mad at her because when she actually does escape, she's gonna take Victor with her. They arrive together, and so they are gonna escape the orphanage together. And she promised. And Felicity's dream is to be a world a world famous ballerina in Paris, and to go to school, the ballerina school that is in Paris. And Victor's dream is to be a world inventor in Paris. So, that night, Victor dresses up as Sister Luffa or Sister Eve, I think. He dresses up as Sister Eve, I think. I don't know her name. He dresses up as Sister Eve to get Felicity out of the orphanage. And at first it seems to work because he's got the dress on, he's got the hat on, and he looks like her because he's got a chicken under the dress. And it almost seemed to work, but Mr. Baldwin woke up from his facial and figured out that Felicity and Victor were trying to escape. So when they're halfway off the roof, using Victor's invention, they fly off the roof, but then the invention breaks. But it's okay because they are now on a train. Oh, and Felicity had the music box that her mother gave to her when she was a baby. When she first arrived at the orphanage, she had that music box. Keep this in mind because the music box will become important later. So, the music box breaks. The music box that Felicity had since she was a little girl, it breaks. It breaks, guys. It breaks. So, with the music box broken, Victor fixes it while they are on the train together. And they sleep all the way to Paris. But they almost get caught from being on the train because they don't have tickets. They just topped aboard it at night. So not to get caught, they hide in a box of apples. But then Victor passes gas. So Felicity opens she Felicity actually opens the box of apples that they're hidden in to get air. And then, since the box of apples were actually in a box and on a truck no less, they fall on the streets of Paris. And her and Victor are now walking around the streets of Paris just like they always dreamed they would. But now my girl Felicity is having doubts, and she is saying to her best friend Victor, "Oh, Victor, why did I do this? There's no way I can become a ballerina." And Victor tells his best friend Felicity, "Yes, you can. You can become a ballerina. And I am going to be a famous inventor. We just have to keep our heads and to keep the dreams going." And while he is saying this to her, Felicity is still walking away from Victor, and Victor gets carried off by birds. And then Felicity runs to the bridge where Victor is being carried off by the birds and saying, "Victor, don't go." And then it turns out that the birds drop him Victor on a boat. And then when he gets dropped on the boat, he tells Felicity to meet him back at the bridge tomorrow. And so, all alone in the streets of Paris, at night no less, she is walking around by herself. And I forgot to mention, Felicity has the picture of the ballet school she wants to go to. So, when she is walking around by herself, Felicity actually pulled out the picture, and it turned out she is standing on the street of the ballet school. And she pulled out the picture and she realizes that she made it. So she sneaks in while the security guard is asleep, and she sees a beautiful ballerina dancer. Dancing on stage, and she is just so mesmerized by the beautiful ballerina dancer that she gets caught by the security guard. But Odette, the janitor, stops him and says, "Well, if you throw her out, you're going to have to tell the madame, the lady of this place, how she got in. And aren't you supposed to be watching the place?" And then the security guard lets her go, and then she thanks Odette for helping her. And then Odette says, "Don't mention it, kid. Now go home." But with Felicity, on the streets of Paris, and Victor being on that boat, she tells Odette, the janitor, that whole story about how she is the orphan and all she wanted to do is be a dancer in Paris. And then Odette says, "Wow, you're good, kid. Now go home." But instead of doing what Odette says, she followed Odette, and we find out that Odette is living there in a room, and the lady, her boss, asks her to clean the steps in the ballroom. So, while Odette is cleaning the steps in the ballroom, and while she is getting buckets of water to clean it, we come to find out that, well, I can't tell you guys right now because we're not at that point yet. But when Felicity sees Odette struggling to pick up the water pail, she offers to help her clean. And they both clean the ballroom together while Felicity is talking about how while Felicity is talking about how she loves to dance. And Odette says that she could help her and she could stay there if she didn't say a word. But my girl Felicity is a talker just like me, so she talks to Odette all night while they are cleaning the floor. And the lady that she works for sees Felicity, and Odette takes up for her and says, "Oh, please let her stay. Oh, please let her stay. She will be my responsibility and my responsibility alone. Oh, just please let her stay." And the lady that she worked for agrees. And while they are cleaning in separate rooms, because Odette told her to clean in one room and Odette will handle the other room. So, Odette and Felicity, in this point in the movie, are living together. So, while she is cleaning the other room, she meets this dancer called Camellia. And Camellia is the best dancer there. And and, and Camellia starts to be really mean to her, and she actually takes her music box and breaks it. And then, while Camellia is off with her mother on vacation, I think, because she was practicing to be in the in big show, the Nutcracker. And their dance teacher will only choose one of them, and Camilla wants that spot. So she has been practicing all day and all night and all day and all night. And since and since Felicity's music box is now broken, she goes see Victor, who is actually working for a big inventor, but actually just carrying, who is actually working for a big inventor. So Victor is actually working for a big inventor. Well, not actually working for him, just carrying his blueprints and, etc. And therefore, since Camellia since Camellia is gone that week, Felicity actually takes her mail, her ballet mail, and actually says that Felicity is now Camellia. So she goes and takes Camelia's place for the spot in the Nutcracker. And when Felicity gets to her first class, she makes two friends who are actually very, 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 very sweet to her. But the dance teacher doesn't think that Felicity, who is pretending to be Camellia, isn't ready to be in the Nutcracker. So, with every passing day, Felicity dances her hardest, but it doesn't seem to be working. And while Odette is cleaning at the ballet company where Felicity is pretending to be Camellia, Odette actually sees her, and she actually tells she actually tells Felicity, "Oh, Felicity, how could you do this? I took up for you. I could lose my job for this." And Felicity actually says that she is sorry that she actually just wanted to become a dancer, a ballerina. So, you remember when I told you that Camilla and her mother went on a trip? Well, the lady that Odette is working for is Camilla's mother. And Camilla's mother has been waiting for that letter that Felicity now has. And Odette covers for Odette covers for Felicity, and when Camilla's mother asks, is there any mail? Odette says, no, there is no mail. And so Odette trains her to be the best ballerina that she can be. We get a beautiful montage, and Odette tells Felicity that yes, she was a dancer, but ever since her injury, she hurt her leg, and so now she can't dance anymore. But she will make sure Felicity reaches her dream. So every day they practice and practice and practice and practice. And Felicity's first lesson is to jump over a puddle and touch the bell without spilling or splashing the water when you land. And at first, Felicity doesn't get it, but after some practice, Felicity finally reaches the bell and doesn't spill the water. And let me just say, I just love the Felicity and Odette relationship that they have. It's just so moving. So Odette actually practices with Felicity, and when she goes to her classes, the teacher can see that she improved. And don't you guys worry, Victor is doing pretty well too. But the one day when she goes into class, Camilla is there, and Camilla's mother says, "Get her out of class right now. She stole my daughter's identity." And the teacher says, "I understand that she stole your daughter's identity, and I will be watching her. But since she improved, I want to see how far she can go." So Felicity as Felicity and not Camilla is now can now enter class. But the teacher does tell her that that he that he will be watching her and that she needs to work hard if 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 she ever wants to become a ballerina. So since she gets better and better and better and better, Rudy, a boy that she met in class and who told her that she had chicken legs, okay, hang on, I didn't tell you guys this. Before that happened, Victor actually meets Odette. And 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 Victor and Felicity actually go to a pub. So when they go to the pub, they start dancing, and Felicity actually does the ballet moves on tables. And let me just say, hang on. Are you telling me they went to a pub? A pub is like a um a pub is like a bar. So they go to the bar. And are you telling me there's no officers in the front of this bar place that they are at to check their IDs? They're just children. Guys, I had to tell you, nothing bad actually happens, but they do get kicked out. But before they get kicked out, Felicity dances like nobody's business. And Victor is so happy that he screams, "Yay, that's my girlfriend!" And he throws a rose at Felicity to catch. But then with all the excitement that goes on, Felicity falls and everybody says, "Oh," including me. I was like, "Oh." But it turned out that the teacher was there, and he said, "If you give your all in the final performance that our class is having tomorrow, you may be able to dance the Nutcracker with the famous dancer." And Felicity is so happy about this. And she totally misses when Victor tries to ask her out on a date, and Felicity says goodnight, and thinking that she said yes, Victor goes to prepare for their date. So on 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 this night, when Odette is done feeding Felicity dinner, Odette says to her, "Okay, now that you have eaten, you have to practice." And then and And then I forgot to tell you guys this. Before she left, Rudy, the boy who is in the ballet class, asks her out on a date. And she tells Odette this when Odette gives her the present, the shoes that Odette wore when she was a ballerina. And Odette tells her to stay. And then Odette tells her, do you, and Odette tells her some good advice. Oh, oh, Odette says, when I was a dancer, I used to practice and then I used to rest. And Odette says, maybe you should practice and rest. When Rudy comes to pick her up for their date. And by this point, Felicity has been getting better. But I'm saying, in my opinion, like, maybe you should stay and rest and practice so you will be ready for tomorrow. And I'm also saying, before I tell you what Felicity said to Odette, that there was no need to treat Odette that way. Because she actually tells Odette that no, I'm not gonna stay in practice. I'm going to go with Rudy on our date, and I don't have to listen to you because you're not my mom. And then Odette is sad because Fel- 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 wait. Felicity says that to her. And so Odette tells her, okay, fine, go. And then when they are on their date, it turns out on the other side of the roof where Rudy is having his where Rudy is having his date with Felicity. Wait. Felicie, I'm sorry. With Felicie, Victor, his kind and beautiful little heart, has prepared a candlelight date for her and music and all of that. And he even made a friend with one of the workers who actually works with him on his boss's inventions. So, thinking that Felicity is late, he sees Felicity, and Rudy starts laughing at him and saying that it's just silly, thinking that Felicity would ever want to go out with him. Because they've been friends forever, Felicity and Victor have, and Victor has always loved Felicity for who she is. And so Rudy and Victor end up getting in a fight, and Felicity ends up leaving, and she starts to go back home to Odette, but then she sees how sad Odette is, and then she just continues to walk. And then the next day, when it is time to perform the dance that they've been practicing for the show, it turns out that Fleecy messes up, and she asks for for another try, and the teacher gives her one, and he actually asks Felicity, "Did you practice?" And then and 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 then Fleecy says no, and then and 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 and, and then and and then the teacher says, "Did you rest?" And then Fleecy says no, and then that's when the teacher has a sad look on his face, and he tells Fleecy that he had high hopes for her, and he gives the part to Camilla. And then, I don't know if this is allowed, but then Camilla's mother grabs Fleecy by the arm, and then she takes her to a carriage, and then Camilla's mother orders the carriage to actually take Fleecy back to the orphanage. And Odette tries to go up, and Odette tries to go after Felicity, but she is actually too late, and Camilla's mother tells Odette that she will never see Felicia again. And Felicia is actually crying, "Odette, Odette." And Odette is actually crying for Felicity to come back. So, at the orphanage, she no longer tries to escape, and she doesn't practice dancing anymore. And Mr. Baldwin tells Sister Eve that 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 Felicity has lost her spirit. Oh, and when Odette goes back to the orphanage, Victor actually stayed in Paris. And I have one question. Do orphanages don't do checks of the kids? 'Cause I know in the beginning they were doing a kid count, like how many kids are here. They were counting heads, and is nobody curious as to where Victor is? I mean, I know he's in Paris, and I know he is working, and I know that he is working hard on his work, and I know he has made some friends there, and he's got this new job and all, but he's a kid. Is no adult concerned in the orphanage where Victor could be? No one, because it seemed like no one was concerned. But Felicity was back in the orphanage, and Victor wasn't. Like, it's just driving me crazy how no one was concerned about Victor, like, all alone in Paris by himself. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that orphanage needs, like, to call the police, because he's a child still. Well, anyway, it turns out that Mr. Baldwin sees wait. It, it turns out that Mr. Baldwin sees and it turned out that Mr. Baldwin sees Felicity escape the next night to go back to Paris and to be in the show. Because Felicity was down. So, wait. So, Felicity was down in the dumps about not making it in the show. But then when she had the dream about her mother and finds out that she dances because it makes her feel closer to her mother, and her mother is the one who gave her the music box and danced with her when she was a baby, when she was a little girl. So I think the mom was a wonderful dancer back then. You know, because Felicity is a wonderful dancer. Anyway, when Felicity is trying to escape, Mr. Baldwin catches her, and he actually tells Felicity that he will give her a ride and take her back to the school. So he took her back to the school. She apologizes to Victor. Victor fixes her music box. Victor. So it turns out that Victor fixes her music box once again. And 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 Felicity actually apologizes to Victor for not seeing what a true friend he has been to her. And 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 she sees Odette again. And she actually sees Odette again and offers to help her clean. And then they hug, and then Odette tells Felicity that I want you to be I I want you to come live with me because she has her own place now, and that Felicity will be coming to live with her from now on. And while they are cleaning for the big show, Camilla and Felicity actually have a dance battle, and it turned out that Felicity wins, and she actually does the secret move that she has been wanting to do the whole movie. And she actually leaps off the podium because she did that move that she's been trying to do all movie. It turned out that she believed in herself and that she has been putting in a lot of practice and that she finally did the move. So the dance teacher actually gives her the part instead of instead of Camilla the part. And then Camilla's mother gets mad, and then when Victor goes to see Felicity to tell her that he has been in love with her the whole entire time and that and that he would love to see her in her in wait wait in her big show. It turns out that Camilla's mother actually hits Victor in the head with something and then tries to get rid of Felicity so Camilla can have the part because they've both been training extra, extra, extra hard to get that part ever since Felicity has been back. She has been training with Odette for that part. And Camilla's mother says the only ballerina that is going to go up there and dance the Nutcracker will be Camilla. And so when she tries to so she tries to get rid of Felicity, they are running all over the place. And it turns out that and wait. And it turned out that Victor is fine and Camilla is really nice. So when Victor wakes up, they help Victor put on his chicken wings because he's been studying flight in chickens. Flight in chickens, guys, through the whole movie. So when he puts on his wings to fly, Camilla actually helps him. And so does his friend that he works with. But for the life of me, I can't think of the friend's name right now. So, when Camilla's mother is on the Statue of Liberty with Felicity. Oh, and by the way, she is running late for the big show because Camilla's mom has her on top of the statue, and the big show is tonight. So, on top of the Statue of Liberty, Victor actually flies Felicity to the performance, and they just leave Camilla mom stuck in the Statue of Liberty. Wow. While Felicity and Camilla go to the performance. And then, before the performance begins, the teacher asks them one more time, "Why do you dance?" And Felicity actually and Felicity acts and wait. And Felicity actually says, "I dance because my mother used to dance, and when I dance, I feel close to her." And Camilla actually says that that she actually dances because her mother makes her. And I just love the ending so much because when they finally land and they make it in the show before wait before Victor and Felicity finally land, Felicity kisses Victor, and and Felicity says thank you to Victor, and that he will actually become a great inventor. And the dancer that she is performing with, and the famous dancer that and the famous dancer that and the famous dancer that she is performing with gives her a crown. And I just love this scene because it's just such a beautiful moment. And like, Felicity in a way found a family in Odette, and a special person in Victor. They're a little thing now. They're boyfriend and girlfriend now. And when she gives her the crown, it's like, I made it. It's like I finally made it to my dreams, and it shows that if you work hard enough, your dreams can come true. And the dancer who is performing with and and um the dancer who the dancer who is performing with Felicity actually gives her the crown and says, come on, let's show these people the beautiful world of dance. And so they dance, and the performance goes off without a hitch. The performance is perfect. And at the end, Odette and that teacher become a thing. I am calling it, because the teacher gives Odette a kiss on the forehead, and Victor says, you are amazing, my, and then and and then and then Victor says, you are amazing, my, and then and then Victor says, you are amazing, my my Felicity. And then the movie ends with Felicity jumping into the air. And that is the end of the movie. Oh, and did I forget to tell you? Camilla and Felicity actually become friends. And that is the end of the movie with Felicity jumping into the air and Victor saying how amazing she is and how much he loves her. And that is the end of the movie. Oh, and by the way, during this video, I had to fix the lighting, so you may see like part of the lighting stick being on the screen, and then as the video goes on, I click the lighting stick off of the screen. So please don't talk about it in the video. I know I made a mistake. Okay, bye, and I will see you guys and in the movie Sing, which will be my next channel. Bye. See you guys in my next video.